Hello and welcome to Megatrip. I'm Dom, your guide on the travel vlog that inspires you to adventure. And on this second episode in my Northern Ireland series, you join me in the wonderful city of Belfast. And we're going to explore that a little bit today. So here is what's coming up on this episode of Megatrip. Oh, hang on. One other thing, another cultural moment here. They made a statue of Lindsay in C.S. Lewis Square. Wow, the second you walk in, you can smell the food. I've just spotted, I might have to give some of the local fudge a go, get my sugar kick. Where to next, legends?
Big fish.
Big fish.
Big fish.
Where do you go?
Then the little fish, then the cardboard box.
Then the cardboard box. We'll go check out a big fish. I personally have a really specific relationship with Belfast. I absolutely love this city. Doomed passage as parts of my body have been called after a curry. Come and learn. Plus, it's probably warm inside, but it's fucking freezing out here. Drink of the gods. Nice pint of Guinness. Through the magic of editing, you now know more than I do about what's going to happen to me on this little adventure. As in my other video, we're not going to concentrate on things like the troubles. We're going to check out the reels, the stuff you might want to do if you come and visit this amazing city. And we are starting out on a bridge over the river with the very, very famous Harland and Wolff cranes that stand behind me. Samson and Goliath, these two cranes are called, and they're a testament to the shipmaking history down here in Belfast. If you don't know about Belfast, probably the most famous thing, or one of the most famous things, is it is where the Titanic was built, that famous ship, sister ship to Lusitania, that sank with so many people on board, and obviously led to the subsequent film. I also just want to talk to you a little bit about Northern Ireland, Belfast, where it is. It might be a little bit confusing if you're not British, and even if you are British or from the UK. So sometimes the terms Great Britain, the UK, they get a little bit confused. Now the UK is actually one country, if you like, and it includes the constituent countries, which are England, Wales, Scotland, and also Northern Ireland. And Northern Ireland is a part of Britain, a constituent country in its own right, sitting on the northeast of the island of Ireland. So that's the UK. When people say Great Britain, it actually just refers to England, Wales, and Scotland. British Isles is a whole other thing, and that includes the southern part of Ireland as well. I guess the important thing to note though is that Northern Ireland is part of the UK, and Southern Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, is its own country and part of the EU, like the UK isn't. Anyway, we're gonna go and check out this amazing blustery city. Cue the music. So we've got some celebrity guests on our tour of Belfast today, including the famous Gavin.
Am I on that watch? I'm not swearing.
So we'll
best not to swear.
So we'll add to the crew today as we go check out Belfast. Let's go.
Sweet.
As ever here on Megatrip, I'd like to try and show you the things that you could do if you visit a city or a certain destination. So today we've come to St. George's Market. It's kind of food, crafts market here in Belfast. Let's go in and take a little look around. Wow, the second you walk in, you can smell the food. Belfast BAP here, getting your full breakfast in a BAP. Very traditional food. There's smoke in the air. Also, charity stalls and craft stalls. Referencing the famous Titanic. Hi there. Hello. Children's books. A real cornucopia of exciting things. You can see it's actually Sunday here today. Check out how busy this place is. People absolutely everywhere. Let's see what else they've got. Nice little hat shop. Had a hats. Keep you warm. made with Irish wool. I would get one of these, but I'm actually just about to move to a much, much hotter country. But it's certainly something that you would need here, even in August. It's about 14 degrees outside today. Also lots of art in here, some really cool art in fact. Let me go back and check out this stall over here, wow. Absolutely beautiful local wildlife and subject matter. Actually going to grab one of these cards. And some local art showing the local scenery. Famous Harland and Wolff cranes here. I'll talk about those in a minute, I'm sure. What else have we got in here then? Some antiques. Let's have a look at the old antique stall. Cameras, little pocket knives. It's definitely something I'd think about if I wasn't flying back hand baggage. Get a really slightly different flavour of things here than you do in the rest of the UK. There's a very local, specific culture here in Northern Ireland that comes out. I mean, this artwork is absolutely stunning. You want to come and get something for your wall. What a better place. So not only food and drink and things to buy, also a little bit of entertainment. I'll have to double check the copyright on this, but it should be good. Local band. I think it's really interesting to note I've been coming to Belfast for a good 20 years. Every single time I come back, the city grows, it changes, it becomes more multicultural, and all the richer for it, I think. Still with that unique local flavour. Perhaps a not so local paella and El Parmesano. Too early for a Guinness, Gavin?
Probably perfect timing for Guinness. Right then. Well, this is all new. This is all done up. I mean, sometimes it's just like a fish market. So you'll come in and it's just
Okay.
call it all kinds of crap.
Well, so normally, like during the week, it's like fish and meat.
Some days during the week it's fish and meat. Yeah. This is a
All
special
right.
thing just on the Sundays, I think.
Okay, well let's just take it as truth because no one's going to fact check.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. So definitely normally fish and meat.
What's the name?
Your dad sells Avon.
Huh?
Is that a phrase that you'd be aware of? Your dad sells Avon, or is that?
No.
That's the uniquely Northern Irish insult. Your dad sells Avon.
So hang on. Your dad sells Avon.
As in,
Do you want to translate that for the viewers?
your father
Yeah.
is a
Avon salesperson.
an Avon salesperson.
Which is what a door-to-door makeup, right?
Yeah.
So why is that an insult in Belfast?
Well, it probably has its hands in patriarchal and misogynistic attitudes towards women and men, and what is an appropriate job for a man selling makeup would be looked down upon. This is a very old insult, but it's now just.
So the good news is that you can buy that on a banner here in
You can buy
St. George's
you can buy your
Market.
dad's Avon. What's happened recently though is Avon has recently gone under. This happened in the last couple of days. So the new insult
Really?
is your dad can't even sell Avon.
Upgraded, maybe not modernised, but upgraded.
Yeah, upgraded but not modernised.
I've just spotted. I might have to give some of the local fudge a go. Get my sugar kick. Did have a little bit of a night out last night. I'll talk a little bit about that later if I haven't done already. Let's have a look at this. Try some local fudge. I would love to try some fudge. Thank you.
This is the traditional butter fudge we're trying.
Traditional butter fudge. Lovely. Let's give that a go.
Flavors, it's all handmade in Belfast. We use palm oil or anything like that.
Brilliant. I'll give it a go.
That's the flavor.
Right, let's try the local butter fudge. Oh wow. That is absolutely insane. That is so rich, I can actually feel my diabetes occurring instantly.
Yeah.
Wow. Delicious. Come on down, try some local butter fudge at the Melting Pot Fudge Stall. So Belfast is most definitely a party city, and it's also got lots of rich history. But on top of that, it is a home to artists, writers, poets and musicians, and one of the most famous sons of Belfast, and East Belfast specifically, was C.S. Lewis, 1898 to 1963, who was born here and wrote the very, very famous Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. And I'm here in East Belfast checking out a monument, a memorial to him, a sculpture in tribute to C.S. Lewis. Now, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe are children's books, and I guess they are slightly controversial. They are a Christian allegory, and perhaps that makes sense if you think about the cultural history here in Belfast. But it's still nice to come down and see this amazing bit of artwork, and that's something that we'll see throughout the city today. Oh, hang on. One other thing, another cultural monument here. They made a statue of Lindsay in C.S. Lewis Square. Right, let's get into town.
Yeah, let's go this way because there's a lion thing you can take a shot of.
All right, we're going to go see a lion thing. Can't wait. So I'm now down by the waterfront here in Belfast, checking out one of the local monuments here that you can see up there. It's a great statue standing on the end of the Queen's Bridge here on Thanksgiving Square. And this female figure behind me that you can see here represents various allegorical themes associated with hope, aspiration, peace and reconciliation. And it was very much built around the time of millennium when really peace was coming to Belfast and this part of the world. Absolutely, I'd say stunning, but absolutely here on this cold, grey, rainy day. Where to next, legends?
Big fish.
Big fish.
Big fish.
Where do you go?
Then the little fish, then the cardboard box.
Then the cardboard box. We're going to go check out a big fish. You don't want to miss it. So, as promised, we have come down to the fish, the big fish, here, again by the waterside in Belfast. Again, the amount of public art that you can see is pretty special. Oh, look at this guy. Now, I remember this fish quite fondly, as when I first came to Belfast, I really didn't know what to expect. Many, many years ago now, I was quite intimidated by some of the history. And this was, I guess, the first kind of piece of art and sculpture here that really made me start to fall in love with this city. Check it out, it's all made of local pottery, compiled together into this big sculpture. Now, on the way over here, I was chatting with Gavin, and there was a hypothesis about the fish. And his hypothesis was it could be the salmon of knowledge. So I asked him, what is the salmon of knowledge? And he said, well, it's like an old fairy tale, an old myth, where if you catch the salmon of knowledge, you get all the knowledge. But what you don't want to do is catch the trout of bad crack, because if you do that, you'll have no banter. I'm not sure how true any of that is, but I think we can all agree it's pretty darn cool. I personally have a really specific relationship with Belfast. I absolutely love this city, notably because some of my best friends live here and I'm lucky to come down and see them pretty regularly. But also, it's a surprising city. It really is a cultural hotspot in the UK. And we'll see some of that today. One of the things that is particularly vibrant here is the TV and film industry. And one of the films, or one of the TV shows that you may know, probably the most famous one, is the Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was actually shot here, and you'll see all around the city now. Things like this, stained glass window here, representing the characters from the Game of Thrones, calling out that famous TV history. And in fact, down here on the docks, you can't quite see it, but a bit further down are the studios where a lot of Game of Thrones was shot. A lot of the outdoor scenes were done on the Mountains of Mourne, that I've referenced in previous videos, and actually we're not going to have time to make on this trip. So, yet another reason to come and check out glorious Belfast. Obviously, probably one of the reasons why there are so many cultural tourist attractions here are you're definitely not coming for the weather here in August in a freezing 14 degrees, windy and now raining. Very, very happy about that. No. As part of the whole Titanic experience down here, you will also find Hamilton Dock, which is home to the SS Nomadic, which is this boat right here, sat in dry dock here near the Titanic Quarter in Belfast. And this boat here was actually a tender. So one of the boats that took the passengers out to the Titanic before they left on their fateful journey.
Their doomed passage.
Their doomed passage, as parts of my body have been called after a curry. If you want the full Titanic experience, you need to come down to the Titanic Quarter, and this is what you get. This here is the Titanic Centre, the Titanic Museum. Don't really know what they call it. It's this massive, impressive structure standing up down one end of the Belfast docks, and in here you can get a full exploration of the maritime history of Belfast, of course all focused around the famous ship, the Titanic. And as everywhere here in Belfast, it comes with a nice little local bit of street art. Titanica herself, proud, with a backdrop of the modern Titanic Centre. We're not actually going to go in today, but if you've got a bit more time, definitely worth a little visit. Come and learn. Plus, it's probably warm inside because it's fucking freezing out here. What's super interesting when you come down to the Titanic Centre is it really gives you an idea not only of history but of scale. And one of the things that gives you an idea of scale are actually these lines in the floor. And you can follow these round and they give you an outline of the Titanic, so you can actually understand how big it actually was. Now, I guess compared to a modern day cruise ship that you do see here, and a modern day gas liner or something like that, it's nothing. But if you think about the time, 1912, the size and scale of this thing really was Titanic. I guess that's, you know, part of the name. So there's lots of street art down here in Belfast, and some of the murals obviously relate to a certain subject that we're not going to talk about, but there's also a very famous street artist called Terry Bradley, and you can see some of his work down here. Check out this beautiful mural of these dockers. I mean, genuinely breathtaking. Again, that really specific local flair. What does Ulster say, guys? You! Okay, so we've had enough of the art, we've had enough of the history and that side of culture, and we're going for a very different type of culture. We're going for something to eat and something to drink, so we've come to the world famous Cathedral Quarter here in Belfast. Now, those of you who have been watching the series might have noticed there was supposed to be another video from last night out in Belfast. Genuinely one of the best nights out in the UK. Now, unfortunately, I didn't actually get to manage to record that much, mainly due to lots of copyright music everywhere, and also probably having a little bit too much fun. But anyway, now we need to check out the Cathedral Quarter, and that is where we'll end the video today. Check this place out. Beautiful, classic, pubs everywhere. Go get your traditional drinks. And of course, as over most of Ireland, Guinness is definitely on the list. So I think that's what I'm heading for now. What a pub. It's the kind of thing you just don't really find anywhere else in the world. Let's get to the bar and get ourselves a drink.
Nobody at the bar there.
Better here. Check this out, Lindsay. Just noticed Writer's Tears Irish whiskey. Fair few choices. If you Enjoy that kind of firewater. Drink of the gods. Nice pint of Guinness. I should probably wait for it to settle, but I'm not going to. Cheers. Cheers, guys. All right. It's all right. Once again, very close. Split the G. Were you drinking Beamish?
Beamish. That's right.
So tell us about Beamish again, Gav. Where's it from?
Cork.
Cork.
The other end of Ireland, as far away as you can get while still being on the same island.
So Guinness isn't your only stout option. You get things like Beamish, you get things like Murphy's, but I'll stick with traditional. Cheers. All right, so it is time to end the video. I'm gonna end that with a little pint of Beamish. I'm gonna try the Cork Stout. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. From Belfast. Let's see how it goes. That tastes like Irish Stout, which is exactly what it is. So, if you've enjoyed the video, please make sure you hit the little thumbs up, give me a like. If you thought I should have done something different, you've got anything to say, leave a comment down below. And please, 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 make sure you are subscribed. Join me next time here on Megatrip.